Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can get this painted. Oh, hey there. Ready for something different? Howdy there, folks. This is Sean with Black Star Minis. You know, I thought to myself a while ago, all the way back when I was posting on Blue Sky and Instagram, the Painting Between Calls series. You know, there are some people following me now. If I get to a certain number, I should release a YouTube video. Maybe telling a story, maybe detailing my process. And that number came and went, so finally, I'm doing this. And it's a very experimental process. So I think to myself, now Sean, what is the absolute best time to make a video? You know, something that's nice and experimental since you've never done this before. Well, past me, I'm so glad you asked that question. It's very obvious that the very best time to make a video is when it's for a project that you really, really care about.
And if you mess it up, you'll never ever forgive yourself.
Anyways, we're going to be painting the I Am No Jedi Deluxe Pack, the convention exclusive miniature from Star Wars Shatterpoint, as a Father's Day gift for my father, as we're both very into the game, and as of day release, it's Father's Day. So, come with me on this journey. I'll be telling you a little bit of a story about my dad, our shared passion for the hobby, and how without him, I wouldn't be here right now. So to start this story off, we have to talk about the kind of guy that my dad is. He's always been sort of the classical nerdy type, been into tabletop games for as long as I can remember. He's been painting models for Warhammer since 3rd edition, been into sci-fi, fantasy, fiction in general for much longer than I can remember. However, the thing that always stuck out to me was that he was always willing to encourage me as a child to explore these fanciful worlds and not shaming me for my overactive imagination. He was never afraid to get down to my level back then and let me get a little silly with it as we invented stories with each other with inspired characters like the evil Dr. Dad and my intrepid knightly hero, Bob. I think it was that would tell him that at some point I would be interested in his hobbying sphere. I think it was when I was around 10 that he took me to my very first session of D&D with his regular gaming group. Since it was my first time playing D&D, I had absolutely no clue what I was in for. And I was nervous, as any kid would. But he sat right next to me, walked me through the session, let me know all the rules, and helped me play my character, Scarvag, the Dwarven fighter. You know, even after all these years, I still kept the character sheet for my very first character, Scarvag Ironback. Smells like an oncoming addiction. Oh look, my handwriting hasn't changed. After that, it was pretty much over for me. I pored over the D&D 3.5 edition handbook like it was a holy text. My drawings were all inspired by the fantastic artwork in that book, but it wouldn't be until I got into high school that I would fully dive into the hobby that I'm into now. It started out simple. My dad was the best painter and kit basher in his group, so it really was only a matter of time before I would gain interest in what he was doing. Before then, I would always ask him if he could paint the models for my D&D group, but one day I would just ask him to teach me how to paint a shield for one of my characters. Now, for this model, my paint coats weren't smooth, my lines weren't straight, but I did it. And it was from that moment that my obsession with miniature painting started. It was just another thing for us to bond over and share. But then he had to go ahead and ruin all of my disposable income by introducing me to a hobby that he had kind of dropped, Warhammer 40k. It started out slow, as all these things do. I thought his guardsmen were pretty neat, but nothing other than that. I would hear about it from time to time, just out in the open, but wouldn't think anything of it. Everything changed though when COVID hit, and I decided to get a 3-pack of Marines. After all, 3's nothing. I can just learn how to paint them, drop it forever. So with that decision, and with my dad's encouragement, that all of my spare time would be officially spent. You know, I also still have that very first Marine that I painted as well, Blood Angel. I mean, I don't collect them now anymore, but I've never recovered from this financial decision. Ever since then, I've had an absolute wargame obsession. As a birthday present to him, I had bought and fully assembled the newly released Indomitus box set after we had talked a little bit about him potentially getting back into Warhammer, at least at an official capacity. I'd given him the Necron half, plus a few more models. We played every so often, but he encouraged me to branch out and use the hobby to get some new friends, and it's because of that I have a regular wargaming group. Wargaming has kind of become a way that I show my appreciation, not just to my dad, but to all of my friends as well. When the fresh Leagues of Votann came onto the scene, he immediately caught an interest in them, started shifting away from Necrons. So, me and my mom, we pooled our resources and bought the new launch box for them. Again, plus some more models, fully assembled them as well for them. As time passed, he encouraged me to grow as a painter. He wanted me to push past his skill level, past my limits, past my comfort, to try and grow my skill into something more. It's partially because of him that I competed in my very first painting competition a year ago, and a few months later after that, we would be on our way to Adepticon so I could compete in my very first Golden Demon. You know, even though I just got a notable entry for my Golden Demon, I don't think I would have had the bravery to submit this piece if it weren't for him encouraging me the entire time. It was at that Adepticon that we would both discover our mutual love of Star Wars Shatterpoint. We'd both been big-time Star Wars fans for long before this, so it was kind of inevitable. We both got ourselves the starter box, along with a couple of choice boxes. Right now, he's building an Imperials team, while I'm building a Siege of Mandalore, what if Ahsoka and Maul got along list. In his usual fashion, he's encouraging me. He gifted me a Darth Vader, so I can make my redeemed Vader kill team. My dad has always encouraged me to be better, whether that's as a painter, role player, or as a person. I know that I wouldn't be the man that I am today, and certainly wouldn't be telling you this story if not for him. I made this video to thank him for sticking with me, and I just want to wish him a happy Father's Day. With all that said though, let's get to some reveals of this model. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this one. This was a very different sort of experience for me, so I'm still trying to get the hang of things. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments, especially if you have an idea of what I might be able to do in the future. I know I have some crazy ideas, so if you want to stay in the loop, make sure to subscribe. I want to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day, and if you have a good relationship with yours, make sure to give them a call. Regardless though, I want y'all to remember, be kind to each other, and I'll see y'all next time.